Hello, welcome to my class today. In this video, I'm going to teach surds. Are surds? Surds are irrational numbers in the form of roots of integers. The important term here are irrational numbers and integers. Examples of surds are root 2, root 3, root 5, root 7, and so on. If the integer is a perfect square, like 16, then the root, cannot form a surd. The reason being that 16 is a perfect square and the root is a whole number, not a surd. But for integers that are not perfect squares, then their roots are regarded as surds. Okay, let's see how we can simplify surds. Take for example, you are asked to simplify root 32. What you have to do is to look for a perfect square that is a factor of 32. In this case, we can use 16 because 16 is a factor of 32 and 16 is a perfect square. Therefore, 32 can be expressed as 16 times 2. And then when you break this into 2, you are going to get something of this kind. Root 16 times root 2, which will give us root 16 is 4 and root 2 is a surd. So this is the simplification of root 32. Let's take another example. If you are asked to simplify root 27, how do you go about it? You have to look for a perfect square that is a factor of 27, and in this case, the perfect square is 9. Therefore, root 27 can be expressed as root 9 times 3, which can further be expressed as root 9 times root 3. And we all know that the square root of 9 is 3, and then you have root 3. This becomes the simplified version of root 27. You may also be required to simplify root 125. All you have to do is to look for a perfect square in the same vein that's a factor of 125. And in this case, the perfect square is 25, because 25 times 5 is going to give us 125. And then this can be expressed as the square root of 25 times the root of 5. And what is the square root of 25? The square root of 25 is 5, and the root of 5 is a surd. So the simplified version is 5 root 25. I will leave you to try out this as your exercises and give me feedback. In our next class, we are going to continue with addition of surds of right 10, subtraction of surds of right 10, and so on. Thank you very much for participating in this class.